So good morning to you. Welcome to Asake Online. My name is Zenzere Ndebele, and this is the Breakfast Club. In our program, Unpacking COVID, today we are talking to Ubaba Sipepa Nkomo, sharing with us his experience with COVID. He had COVID sometime last year, and he went to hospital. So we want to find from him what was going on, how did he discover that he had COVID, and also the road to recovery. How much time did it take him to say, he's fully fit and he's ready to go back to work and do his normal life? Or is he back to normal life months after, getting COVID? Baba Nkomo, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, my first question to you is, tell us, at what point did you say, no, something is wrong with me?
We received a message that my brother's son at the Sipepa village in Cholocho had died. He had been in Harare for a visit with my brother, left my brother in Harare visiting children, came back after a month, passed through this home, and he went home. And after a week or so, we're told he's very sick, being taken to Sipepa hospital and so on. Then we got the message he had died. I had begun not to feel well. I felt funny. It's not me. I felt as if I'm hot. I felt as if I'm cold. I felt as if I have my power is leaving me. And I wondered what it was all about. But we decided we need to go to the funeral. So we drove home. And when I got home, we went home on the day of the funeral, of the burial, because I didn't want to spend much time there. And I went to his homestead, my son's brother who had died, and is about 100 meters away from mine. And I spoke to people there, and as I was sitting there, I felt it's not me. Something is wrong. But I couldn't put my finger as to what it was. So I then stood up to go to where we bury our folks, so that I could just mark where they should dig. So I marked, dig here. After I'd done that, I decided I can't return back to his homestead. I went to mine. And when I got to mine, I went straight to the bedroom and I slept. And I then began to feel as if I'm shivering, something's wrong, I'm hot, and so on and so on. And I never went back to bury him. I didn't see him. And so I realized something was wrong, and I began to tell myself, I am sick. I did not think it was COVID. I thought something's wrong with my body. And then I began to feel as if I'm perspiring. And they buried. The following day, I said to my wife, we need to go back to Bulawayo. Because I thought that I needed some medical care. So we came back to Bulawayo, went to see the doctor. And the doctor said, the symptoms you are telling me are like COVID. The symptoms you are telling me are like COVID. and can you go for a test? I went for a test, and they put something in my nostrils, which is a bit nuisance. And then they confirmed that I was positive. Then the doctor gave me instructions, go, isolate. So I came here to isolate and so on. So my wife began to feel exactly the same. Wow, what is this? Then we decided to separate. You go to that room, I will go to that room. So we separated ourselves. But the doctor had also recommended that we separate. So my wife got worse, and I was also not improving, but getting worse as well. And then my wife began coughing. Then the doctor was phoned, and the doctor said, you have to go to hospital immediately. I booked a bed at Matete. So my wife then said, okay, before I go, I need to get to bath this man. So she wanted me to leave, so that she leaves me clean. Because I was unable to bath myself. So she then took me to the bathroom, and she went out to try and get some other things. My sister-in-law came in the bathroom. She was the only one who was with us. And then I collapsed. I didn't know what was happening anymore. So when they tried to wake me up, so my wife phoned the doctor. And then the doctor said, hospital as well. I had booked you, now I'm booking him. Take him to Matete. But use the ambulance. And the doctor said the ambulance is $250. Other ambulances are not allowed to pick up COVID patients. So there's only one ambulance that will do that.
So an ambulance, which ordinarily will cost $50 from here to Matete, which is less than 7 kilometers,
yes,
costs you $250.
Yes. Then Zenzele, we didn't have that kind of money. So, but my wife was saying, this guy will die if I don't do something. Then she quickly decided to reverse the Mercedes-Benz. They picked me up, threw me into the Mercedes-Benz. But the doctor had said, in going to hospital, she should get tested herself first at the Simas laboratories. And then I was in the car. She parked. Were the two of us, no one else. And she left me in the sun. So I saw her. Now I could see. I said, kuchukuti bengi. So she went in, took a bit of time until she told them I have a patient who could die in the car outside, and then they quickly took the test. Then we drove to hospital. When we arrived there, she told them, I've got a COVID patient here, and I'm also booked here. Then they said, okay, come this side. They led the guy was walking in front of us, and we went. The the east side of the building. And I saw then where were they? They were taking me. They were taking me to ICU. Then they separated. I was separated. They took me straight into the ICU. Inside the ICU, I'm telling you, people were sick, full. Dr. Dixon was looking after us. And there are a lot of gadgets in the ICU. Yeah, a lot of gadgets. And they pumped a lot of things into my body. Because they were battling, even my veins had collapsed. So Dr. Dixon didn't go to sleep that day. He was fighting to revive the veins. I don't know how veins collapse. I don't know. But he really fought hard to get me to survive. Now, what I didn't know, Zenzele, was that in ICU, they don't care about whether you are a male or a female. You are lumped together there. Because when I woke up, looked, on my right, there was a woman. And she was Mrs. Spanda. On my left, there was a Mr. Spanda, the husband of this woman. On the other side was another woman who later died. And you could see all the beds, you know. There are beds this side, there are beds this side, there are beds behind. And I realized that sometimes if I open my eyes, 3-4 beds that were here during the night, the beds have been made up. And what has happened? There are no discharges that are done at night.
Yeah.
Quite obviously, it was clear what has happened. And my wife was in Mater Dei in the isolation department. And we lost the count of what day is this, and so on and so on and so on. We didn't know. I didn't know. I really didn't know whether a Monday, is it a Tuesday? I didn't know about it. So after my oxygen levels were fine and they had now revived my veins, the doctor said to me, look, Dr. Nkomo, I want you to go home. I will also get your wife to go home. The more you are here, it's more dangerous. It's better you are in the home.
But you're still not fine then?
Yeah, I'm still not fine. But he said it is for our interest that we are here. So, what I noticed myself is that there are no medicines for COVID. I don't know about others. You must steam yourself, use this, use that, use that, use that. In my humble opinion, I think that COVID is like flu. Perhaps it must run its time. I don't know, but I'm saying flu. When I get flu here, people tell me, oh, take this, take this, take this. I've now been brave to tell them I'm not, because this thing, even if I take what you are saying, it will run its time. It's because flu is just a nuisance too. So we came back here. I was in this bedroom, my wife was in the next room, but on the other side. And that's when I think we began to feel really bad. We began to suffer. And if we were walking, I'm sure you experienced the same.
Yeah.
You would actually touch the wall so that you balance with the wall as you were moving. If I have to go to the toilet, I will have to touch something, go about touching things so that I can go to the toilet. And the people used to come. My bedroom here has got a window, and the other room where she is, they've got a window. People would not come in. They would actually look at us peep through the window.
Yeah.
Peep through the window. And the people would tell me they came to see me. I didn't see them. I didn't see them at all. And in some other times, going to the loo, I would say to my wife, "What day is it today?" She would say, "I don't know," because we lost. And we spent a lot of time here, the whole of January and a part of February. And people ask me, and after I had got well, people would ask me, "How do you feel when you have this disease?" And I said, "Look, I will just tell you, give you an example. Then you would make up your mind as to how we feel. I will give you an example. I said, choose a road, very smooth road. And that road, like, you know, the road between Gweru and the toll gate going to Harare, very nice, it's smooth, you drive very nicely. I said, choose that kind of road. Slip across. And let a 22-wheeler lorry, loaded, come, and then it goes over you. I said, that's how you feel about the COVID.
Yeah. It's the chest.
It's the chest.
It's so pressed.
Yeah.
You feel like you want more air to come in.
But it's not there.
But it's not there.
It's not there.
Yeah.
And so, well, we are well now. And we thank God. I keep telling my friends that my God actually took me out of the mortuary.
Yeah.
And we have another elder in our church who actually, it was where he spent more time in hospital, in and out of hospital. And I've always said Charles was taken out of the grave. For me, I was still in the mortuary, but Charles had been buried, but God raised him because he is now well as well.
So you are in hospital, you see, you have seen someone here, the next day they're not there, or maybe at one point you are awake and you see someone being put in a body bag and pulled out. What's going through your mind at that particular moment?
You don't know the prayers that you send to God at that time. Because for me, I was not sure that I would step outside again. I wasn't sure about that. I wasn't sure. I began to prepare for death. And you begin to think about what will my wife do when I'm gone. You begin to think about the children. You begin to think about the grandchildren. Your mind goes far. Then, because you are not sure. You're not sure what's going to happen. What has happened to the person who was in front of you in that bed could happen to you.
Yeah.
You begin to think about that. And but I kept on saying, God, if this is the time, if I've done anything wrong, the things wrong I've done in life, forgive me and remember me in your kingdom.
You know, it's like you read the Bible, you know, you hear the story of Moses, that
Yes.
Moses was taken on top of a mountain and shown Canaan.
Yes.
And he was told, but you're not going to go to Canaan.
You're dying here.
You're dying here.
Yeah, go and bid the people farewell.
Yeah.
Come up and die.
So, you know, there's a point where you are like, you know, you're preparing your funeral. You're saying, nxa ngingabona ubani ngimtshela ukuthi enze so kulokuyimali lokuyana ngakugcina lapha ngakutshela nkosikazi. I think it's the time to just tell them, because it might, you know. So at what point did you find yourself, you know, try uzama ukulayela abantu ukuthi kwenziwe so, or writing down things?
Everything was very quick. Everything was very quick, but I thought about the children, but I thought, my wife, she's also here sick. Suppose both of us go. What will happen? You begin to think, what will other people say? You begin to visualize your funeral.
Yeah.
You see it. And but in doing so, you have no time also, because something is happening. You are not breathing properly. Your mind is deviated from thinking about all those kinds of things, because you're saying, hey, and then you begin to feel, and in ICU, for instance, those people don't leave you. Yeah, they don't leave you. This and that, they are in your bed. So sometimes you don't get the opportunity to relax and think, hey, am I dying? Is this my last day?
There's many people that I've talked to who have suffered COVID. They say, you know, COVID changes you, the way you see life. You know, you get to say, okay, I was on the edge. Now I'm going to do things differently.
Yes.
Did you start saying, if I survive, this is what I want to do? What are some of the resolutions that you made there?
You know, again, when I was in prison, I would say, if I leave prison, if I'm released, I want to go and do A, B, C, D. But again, even when you are in prison, you don't know whether you're going to come out alive. I saw many of our colleagues in prison coming out dead. But for COVID, I was saying to myself, I've not responded to God for Matthew 28, go ye therefore and preach. So then I said, if I leave this place alive, God, I am going to work. Yes, I'm 77 years old, but I'm going to spread the gospel. And that's one of the things I did. And when I came out, I began to implement that. I bought a big truck. You must have seen it when you come in.
Yes.
That's for that purpose. I went to Msida, I bought it. And it's here. And it is for evangelism purposes. Before, I've worked for myself, worked for my children, but now I want to spend the little time left, because this thing almost killed me. Little time left doing something for my God and responding to his commission that we should go. And I said, I will go.
So you begin to say, I survived because God has a purpose for me.
Yes.
He wants me to do something.
Yeah, you know, yes, this is very true. I survive because God has a purpose for me. And even when I got better, colleagues, church members would say, Umlimu yakutanda, he has a purpose for you, Nkomo, he has a purpose for you. Then I would say to them, you are quite right. He has a purpose for me. But there is another flip side of that. He loves me so much that there are things that I'm not doing right, wrong things I am doing that he wants me to correct. So it's not just a purpose for me to go in and preach and do all these things, but the other things that there are certain habits that I am doing, which he wants me to correct before I die. So I have to look at that flip side. And people had not thought about it. It being purposeful for me, yes. But again, there's another side. It's about me. What is it that I am doing which God doesn't like? That came to my mind. And when I came out, I told my friends, this is why God has allowed me to live.
So how long does it take you to say, oh, this responsibility, you are now fully fit, you can do everything that you used to do?
I think for me, it took me, because I was in hospital in December, it took me about 2 months for me to say, I feel okay now. For the doctor, when we came out, he isolated us for 2 weeks. He said, I want you to come and see me after 2 weeks. And we went to see him after 2 weeks. He conducted certain tests and so on and so on. And then said, I want you to continue the 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, another 2 weeks. So we continued for another 2 weeks. 1 month is gone. But the first 2 weeks we went there, we could still feel we are not okay. But when we went for the second 2 weeks, we felt a little bit better. Then after he had looked at us and looked at taken a number of tests, Dr. Dixon then said, that thing is gone. What does that mean? It means that when we went there for the first 2 weeks, it was still there. It was still there. And then he said, that thing is gone. But even if it's gone, I still want you to isolate. Don't begin going out and so on. So now we feel okay. Now I'm okay. What I realized, because I was a poor eater myself for a very long time, maybe because of the 6 months I spent fasting in prison for what they were doing wrong to me. And I almost died at that time. But whatever they did to me in hospital, the medicines they pumped into me, because a lot of things were now, some things I couldn't. Now I eat. I eat in the morning, I eat in the day, I eat in the evening. Even in between, I would feel I needed to eat. Then I said, there is something they did. Or they didn't know what they were doing. And the system changed itself. And I think that, I thank God for that. And if you look at me, I look okay. If I look at you, I think you're okay, Zenzele, because you suffered from the same. Yeah. But now you look okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that all of us must thank God. But now you have again frightened me that the thing is coming back. I've done the vaccination, but it's not a guarantee, I'm told, that you can't get it back.
So, I mean, the good thing is that you're vaccinated, and as we were discussing before the interview, that slowly you see the cases going up, especially in schools, where boarding schools, where we've seen cases going up, and I hope, and everyone hopes, that we don't have a third phase of the pandemic,
like what's happening in other countries.
Yeah, but the vaccination, I mean, a lot of people were against the vaccination, and how easy was it for you to make the decision that no, I'm going to get vaccinated?
Okay, I think for us to make a decision to vaccinate, in spite of the number of theories going around about vaccination, our children live in Canada, in the US, and in the UK. They were a nuisance. They were phoning almost every day. have you gone for vaccination? Have you gone for vaccination? Until we decided, okay, let's just, then we went. And I think we went on the 10th of April. And I don't like injections myself. I don't like them. So going there, I was just brave. I was braving the situation. And but when they vaccinated me, you feel nothing.
Yeah.
You don't feel the needle.
Yeah.
But if you watch television, it is as if they are.
So before you know it, they are done.
No, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You don't feel it.
So you have done your the first vaccination, and now you are waiting for the
11
second.
May.
Yeah, 11 May.
Yeah, 11 May.
So I was saying, I mean, we were talking about this before the interview, that if you have had COVID, at that time when someone they would say to you,
yes.
So a vaccination becomes an easy decision to say, if it would make me not feel what I felt, then I better do.
That's why we went.
That's
why we went, because we think that some people say it doesn't protect you. Okay, but I think it does.
Yeah.
For me, who is a COVID survivor, I think it does. If I have it, it's like measles, it's like smallpox, I think it will help. Yeah. Even though people say, no, it will not protect, I think for us it will. But again, we have a God in heaven. Yeah.
Yeah. Lastly, I mean, this message is mainly to maybe you as someone who's who's a preacher or talking to the people in a Christian way. We have heard a lot about the vaccination is the mark of the beast and all these kind of things. What would be your encouragement to fellow Christians when it comes to this issue?
Okay, I, in my humble opinion, Christians should go and be vaccinated. I went to drill wall to get papers for my car. That car, registration, and I went to have police clearance. So I then sat next to a young girl, and we began chatting. And then I said, "I'm an old man, so I'm sure you are not afraid to sit next to an old man who's vulnerable. Have you been vaccinated?" She said, "No." I said, "Why?" They said, "My pastor told us that this is the mark of the beast and so forth and so on." Then I didn't have the opportunity to explain that she and her pastor are wrong, because they called me to come and get the papers. Now, I want to tell you that the mark of the beast is not something that can be injected in you. It's not a small chip. The mark of the beast will come as a result of the enforcement of the Sunday law. That and at that time, we'll have a lot of pestilences and a lot of problems in the world, tornadoes and all those kind of things. And they will then think that we have angered God by not all of us in the world respecting Sunday as a day of rest. So they will try and force it. And that will be the mark of the beast. It's nothing that goes into your body. Nothing. It is a system that will be brought into the world. And so I'm lucky because I know I read the Bible, I read prophecy. That thing is going to happen. But it's not something that some people say it will be marked on your forehead, 666. No, even 666 is not marked, is your acceptance to serve the powers that enforce the Sunday law. I think Christians should just simply go and be vaccinated. It's nothing to do with the mark of the beast.
Thank you very much, Babu Nkomo, for that explanation, but also for allowing us to talk to you about this. I know we've been for months now, we've been planning this interview and really, not having it happen. And I'm happy that I'm here because then I'll make more time to talk about your role in the liberation struggle, and that would be something that we are looking forward to. So we really appreciate you sharing this your experience, because we need elders like you who went through it to then say, no, it's not only young people. But even us went through this, but also encouraging people to be even more careful, because we are not yet done. And we hope more people are going to vaccinate, then we can say safely we are protected. So thank you very much for your time. My name is Zenzele Ndebele. Till we meet again in other programs, have a good day.